Hi, it's Melissa here, and I'm back today with another layout for Brielle's baby album. This is a Christmas page, and it's a filler page for her album. I'm using a cut from the Cut Shop, and it's that tree that has joy on the top. And I had originally backed it with some paper from another kit, and I was going to be using it for another layout that I was making, but I didn't. So I wanted to use it, and the reason I'm doing a filler page is because I had made that layout, and it will be the last video I made, which was a 10-month page for Brielle, and on the back I had 11 months. And what I'd done was used one piece of paper, so I'd scrapped two layouts on one piece of paper using the back and the front. And when I came to putting the pages into the actual album, I found that it wasn't going to work, and I had an extra page, and the extra page was next to her December page, and so I thought, what better idea than to scrap a Christmas layout and just slip it in there. And I'm using Webster's Pages Sweet Routine again because that's the collection that I'm using for the whole album. And so this paper that I used to back the Christmas tree was perfect because it's a kind of a light teal colour and it works really well with the colours in Sweet Routine. So I'm just using a bit of the gold doily to back the little star on the hole where the word joy is. And for this layout, I'm wanting to really keep it simple and focus on machine stitching. So I knew I wanted kind of a central design as I'm going across the centre of the page. I knew I didn't want any strips of paper above or below for borders like I normally do. And the reason this video is so quick is because my sewing machine is on a different table and I had to keep stopping the videoing, and I would take the layout or the pieces I need to stitch over to my machine, and I wasn't filming them. So this paper is one of my favourites in the entire collection. It's a beautiful floral, and I gutted it out so I could use it for another layout. And here I've done my first lot of stitching, and it's just around the edge. I went along the edge of the paper as well, and I love how this looks. It's really simple and clean. And now I'm just working on the positioning of my photo and the tree, and I'm wanting to trim some off just because I don't want, I want to show as much of that floral as possible. And for some reason, it worked better when I trim my photo down. Now I'm wanting to put something to the right of what I've got so far, and I tried out that piece. And I'm also going to try out this piece that says "that was cool" with the letter C. And my first thought with this little card was to write Christmas using the C on the card. But the more I thought about it, the more it was going to draw away from the photo and put the focus onto the right side. And I didn't really want that. I wanted the focus to be on the photo and the tree. So I'm using another gold doily, and this one I got from Spotlight in a pack of about 15 for I think $4, which was an amazing deal, and I love the gold, this particular shade of gold, and I've used several of them in the pages I've been making over the last week. So I'm just working out where I want to position that in my photo, and I'm happy with the doily, so I didn't even want to move it. I'm just going to flip it up and put the double-sided tape down and stick it back down. And now I'm sticking my photo down. I always get a bit nervous when it comes to sticking them down because, especially with the element of this tree, I didn't want any awkward space to be between the tree and the papers. So here you can see if you don't press it down too hard, you can move it over, and the slick, shiny surface of the doily also means that I can pull it up pretty quickly without damaging anything. So that's the final position of the photo, and I'm just now probably going to change my mind about that card. And I've lifted my edges up, and that kind of just gives more dimension and interest, and it enhances and draws attention to the fact that I've stitched those edges down. So I'm loving that spot paper, the polka dot paper, but I didn't want to use it because I like the cards that were on the other side. So I'm going through the 6x6 paper pad, and I've shown this in a couple of other videos, and I was going to pull out the scaled down version of that polka dot, but in the end I'm going with this pink and just cutting off the elements that are printed on, and now I'm definitely going for it and sticking it down. So it has a little pattern at the top from those elements that are already printed on it, but I'm going to cover that up so it doesn't matter. So I've trimmed off the excess, and now I'm working up where I want the card to go, and that card will house my journaling. And that's pretty much the main paper elements of this page. And here I've taken it away and stitched. I've stitched around the perimeter of the card twice, and I've also stitched around the tree around the outside, and I've stitched around the pink piece that I've put down. So I'm really happy with how my sewing machine's behaving at the moment. I had discovered something that I hadn't been doing, and I've never done it. It's a little, on the bobbin where you put it underneath, there's a little, I don't know what you call it, but a guide that you stick your thread through, and by doing that it stopped all the snagging and other problems I've been having. So now I'm wanting to lift this tree up, and I'm using some foam tape, and I just got that at Spotlight as well, and it's quite thick, so I'm trying not to use it too often because there's not much on the roll, but I wanted the tree to really have dimension and stand out, and so I'm just positioning it down. And I wanted the trunk to go just below the piece of pattern paper. And now I'm sticking that journaling card down. And I did think about journaling on it first, but I'm pretty comfortable with journaling straight onto my layout, so it's very rarely that I make a mistake, and if I make a mistake, I can just cover it up anyway. So I'm happy with where that is as well. And now I'm going to the chipboard sheet, and I've used up a lot of it now, and I'm putting this little piece of chipboard down that says, "Keep your eyes and heart open for what matters most," and I thought that was really cute for this layout because it's a photo of Sam smiling at Brielle on Christmas Day. Now I've also trying to use up this little floral flower, and I've tried that on a few layouts, and finally I'm getting it down on this one, and so I'm just using it at the top of that card. So I put the thickers for the title down off camera, and it just says Christmas Cutie, and the Dear Lizzie gold foam thickers are probably my favourite thickers of all time, and I'm also putting a little B and S for Brielle and Sam, and that's just, I think, the basic grey letter stickers. They didn't have an ampersand on them, which was kind of strange, so that's why I'm using the plus sign for an and that just provides a little bit more embellishment. So now I'm adding my journaling. I've made quite a lot of layouts about Brielle on Christmas Day, so I'm kind of running out of journaling to use, or bits of the story to tell, so I'm really just saying why she's a Christmas cutie and how we enjoyed her first Christmas and how she had the most fun unwrapping presents and playing with the paper. She was 8 months at this stage, so Christmas didn't really mean much to her probably. It was just a day of playing with paper. And so the final thing I'm going to add to this layout is some Heidi Swap Colour Shine in gold and teal, and I'm just adding that now, and I found if I don't cover my photo I will get splatters on it, so not so worried about the bottom right. And now I think I'm going to add the date. Oh no, I'm doing the teal Colour Shine. I'm really into diagonal splatters at the moment too. It's that and diagonal embellishments. So that's the final layout. I hope you enjoyed watching this really quick and simple one, and I will be back again later today with a layout for Let's Get Sketchy.